NBC 15 News at 11 starts now.
Now at 11, lightning may be to blame for an early morning fire.
Saying the shackles are off, Donald Trump is in open war with the Republican Party.
And the Vikings reportedly invited a Stoughton man to one of their practices after he was attacked over an inflatable Vikings lawn decoration. Well, I'm sure many of you woke up to loud claps of thunder and bright flashes of lightning. It was quite the light show out there.
It really was. Charlie's here with more on that. Hi, Charlie.
Hello. Yeah, still some bright colors showing up on radar as well. We had that thunderstorm move through earlier this morning. A lot of that has moved off to the north and east, but there is another line of showers and thunderstorms back to the west of here, moving through southern Minnesota, northern Iowa. We're not out of the rain yet. I think it's going to be 3, 4 o'clock, at least for Madison this afternoon, before we're completely out of this rain. Areas east of here, it may hang on a little bit longer. Then we're going to be dealing with another issue, and that will be cold temperatures tonight. A frost advisory in effect for a good deal of the viewing area, all the counties shaded in blue. We're looking at lows roughly in the 30 to 35 range in the frost advisory area. Freeze warning in effect for areas off to the west. You're looking under 30 degrees for low temperatures in those spots. So going to be dealing with some frost, if not a hard freeze. We'll talk about that and look ahead to what looks to be another very mild weekend. We'll do that all in about 10 minutes.
Well, that lightning, Charlie, does come with consequence. Lightning is most likely the cause of a fire that started earlier this morning on Borland Road. The Madison Fire Department responded to the call at the Madison Metropolitan Sewerage District at 7 this morning. No one was hurt, but there is damage to an enclosure over a pressure release valve. Governor Scott Walker has asked President Obama for a federal disaster declaration for 12 western Wisconsin counties hit by torrential rains and flash flooding last month. The governor said the flooding caused more than $11 million in damage to roads and public infrastructure. A presidential disaster declaration would pave the way for federal assistance to local governments. That includes Crawford, Juneau, and Richland counties.
In a Crime Tracker 15 report, police say a YouTube video showing what looks like a woman being held captive is not connected to a Wisconsin missing teen case. Antigo police say the video shows a man talking to the camera about his new girlfriend and then cuts to a girl who's bound and yelling for help. Earlier this week, a blog posted on social media attempted to make a connection to the disappearance case of Kayla Berg. The 15-year-old from Antigo vanished a couple of months before that video was posted in 2009. The video has since been taken down. A Dells woman has been charged with identity theft and falsifying health care credentials. Police say 40-year-old Jennifer Brown has been falsely representing herself as a registered nurse. The complaint alleges that Brown used a Milwaukee woman's registered nurse credentials to secure a nursing job at the Reedsburg Area Medical Center. She was an employee from May to August of last year. Brown also held a similar position in Wausau under the same false credentials.
A Stoughton man who was attacked over his inflatable Vikings yard decoration has reportedly gotten quite an invitation from the team itself. The Minneapolis Star-Tribune reports the Vikings invited 36-year-old David Moschel to attend a future practice at a game at U.S. Bank Stadium in November. Meantime, 21-year-old Jacob Justice has been charged with second-degree reckless injury for slicing Moschel's face and head with a box cutter numerous times. Police said Moschel and Justice got into a confrontation Sunday night after Justice allegedly damaged Moschel's inflatable. Now to your Decision 2016 coverage. With just weeks to go before the election, Donald Trump is now in open war with fellow Republicans.
And the FBI is investigating Russia's role in the latest WikiLeaks dump of Democratic campaign emails. NBC's Andrea Mitchell has more.
Donald Trump overnight in must-win Florida. In his words, unshackled and unloading on Hillary Clinton.
Did you see Hillary today? Did everybody see the debate? Yeah, you lost. Hello, how are you?
Dismissing the impact of that lewd Access Hollywood tape, a program owned by NBC Universal, telling Bill O'Reilly,
A lot of women come up to me and said, boy, I've heard that, and I've heard a lot worse than that over my life.
President Obama weighing in on that tape for the first time with a blast.
You just have to be a decent human being to say that's not right.
The Democrats relishing the civil war Trump has ignited among Republicans, a war he escalated Tuesday night against House Speaker Paul Ryan.
I wouldn't want to be in a foxhole with a lot of these people, including Ryan, especially Ryan.
A scorched earth strategy running mate Mike Pence defended to NBC's Kelly O'Donnell.
I really do believe that Republican leaders should join millions of Americans and support the Republican nominee for president.
But it's the thousands of hacked emails from Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta's account, emails not independently authenticated by NBC News, that have Trump on the attack.
WikiLeaks is amazing, the stuff that's coming out. It shows she's a real liar.
In fact, U.S. intelligence officials say WikiLeaks and other groups leaking hacked emails are working with Russia. And now Podesta says it's apparently being done to help Donald Trump.
And the FBI is investigating that link to the Trump campaign.
I've been contacted by the FBI. They are investigating the matter.
The controversy overshadowing Hillary Clinton's first campaign event with Al Gore.
I can't wait to have Al Gore advising me when I am President of the United States.
Appearing together in Florida, the state that cost Gore the presidency.
Your vote really, really, really counts. You can consider me as an Exhibit A of that truth.
A federal judge is criticizing Wisconsin for not telling people clearly how they can get voting credentials if they lack documents to get a photo ID. Liberal advocacy group One Wisconsin Institute wants District Judge James Peterson to block Wisconsin's voter ID law. The group's lawsuit follows media reports that show Division of Motor Vehicles workers giving inaccurate information to people without proper ID who need a receipt that would allow them to vote without it. Peterson began a hearing today by saying the state has fallen short of its obligations to administer the credentials, and the chances of getting misinformation right now is very high.
St. Mary's Hospital in Madison will expand its adult inpatient behavioral health unit. It's a $4.2 million expansion. The SSM Health St. Mary's Foundation is asking for donations in addition to the $1.5 million they intend to secure. No word yet on when construction will begin. Hertz Donuts opened their doors early this morning. Not only is Hertz new to the Madison area, but it's a relatively new company altogether. The first shop opened in 2013 in downtown Springfield, Missouri. The Middleton location is the 8th shop. The owners say they hope to have 13 shops open by the end of the year.